And my special guest in this section, quite unusual because I have not been interviewing too many Bollywood stars, at least not on this program, is John Abraham. And John Abraham is not just a Bollywood star for me. He represents a self-made man in Bollywood, and that's what I like about him. He's not a dynast. He's come up the hard way, and he stays on top the hard way. And I'm delighted about the new movie you've made, but more than that, I'm delighted about seeing you again.
I'm very happy to see you again, Arnab. Very happy.
What is the secret behind this youthful?
No, I just keep training every day. And
what training do you do?
I train every day in the gym. I do calisthenics. I do a bit of Pilates. I do strength training. Just anything. I need an excuse to stay fit, Arnab. That's very important, and that's what India should be doing today with the cases of obesity. Yeah. You know, we need to. I see you, and I'm so happy seeing you from the last time. You're far trimmer, you're sharper, and very happy to see you.
Thank you. Okay, now since we have completed the Mutual Admiration Society part of the interview, I want to just share a little bit with our viewers. We've shown you clips of this great movie, and I'm saying it's great not because I've seen it, but because by word of mouth, we're being told it's fantastic. And in fact, a little later today, John is going to be meeting the Foreign Minister of India, Mr. Jaishankar.
Correct.
And can I share a little bit about the film and then we talk about it?
Yes, please.
What I like about the present trend in Indian cinema is the fact that it's touching real events. It's doing non-fiction in a slightly fictionalized way. This story of this movie called The Diplomat is a true story. It's about a girl, Indian girl, Muslim girl who falls in love with a Pakistani boy in Malaysia, then is taken to Pakistan on the pretense of love, but then there's an attempt to take her to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and sell her off to the jihadis. And the catch is about how the Indian government brings her back home. And that's where the story begins. So tell me about The Diplomat, the theme.
I read the script, Arnab. It was lying on my producer's table. I read it one morning, expecting it to drop at some point because our scripts, we don't concentrate on content. So we get disappointed with what we read. But it kept reading well, it read well. And by the end of it, I was blown. And I called up the gentleman who sent me the script and I said, I want to make this film happen. And here we are.
Who sent you the script?
One of our producers, who's also a co-producer on the film, Ashwin Vardhe, he sent me the script. And I had no expectation from it. It was just lying there. It was called The Diplomat. And I love diplomacy. I love watching Mr. S. Jaishankar talking. And whenever he talks, you know, he's a poster boy of India. We all light up. So, yeah, totally. So I just read it, loved it, and that's the reason why I did it.
So this is on, you play the role of J.P. Singh.
Correct.
A diplomat.
Correct.
I'm told he's in Israel these days.
Yeah.
Fantastic guy. Many of our editors here know him. Tell me about what J.P. Singh did. What did the diplomat do in this film?
Well, to simply put it, without
letting it on.
Without letting it out, was that he got this girl back home. She was housed in the Indian embassy for about 20 odd days. And all hell broke loose in both the countries, in Pakistan and India. And we finally had to get her home with the help of our then late Honorable Minister, Sushma Swaraj.
And why was that so difficult to do?
It was practically impossible.
Why?
Because
she's an Indian.
Yeah, but she was married to a Pakistani. And that's what made it very, very difficult. So, you know, in the film we have a line that says, diplomacy har desh mein chalta hai. Lekin in Pakistan, it's like ice skating. You're on thin ice. So just the way he maneuvered the whole situation with the help of Pakistanis, so there are good and bad people everywhere in the world. So the good people there, the way he maneuvered the situation to get her back is what this film is about. Pretty much like Argo. If you see Argo and you see how they got the Americans out of Tehran from the embassy. So The Diplomat is a similar space film, but with a lot of emotion in the end.
You're raising expectations now, telling all this.
Yeah, I hope I can meet them.
Because for me, the ultimate John film is Madras Cafe.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think it's remarkable because you moved into the area of doing these real life films around that time, and I think you did a great job of it. The music, soundtrack, acting, performance, characterization was absolutely brilliant. Is this Madras Cafe level?
I don't know whether
next level.
I hope people don't get disappointed with this, and from what I gather and what's happening right now, People seem to be really enjoying what they're watching. It's a very emotional film, very, very emotional film. And I know, I mean, if I have to let the cat out of the bag, you will miss Sushma Swaraj after you watch this
What
film.
is the most emotional moment of the film?
The climax. The climax is beautiful. It's beautiful. It leaves the audience on a high point. What I'm enjoying is people clapping, enjoying the space, and not in a jingoistic way. It's just so gratifying for a producer and an actor to see his product being appreciated the way it is.
You think things are changing now? Because, I see so many films being made with the nation at the center. The newsroom you just came from has nation first emblazoned on it. We don't say news first.
Yeah.
You feel this is genuine? How much of this, okay, it's not a trick question. Straight.
Yeah.
It's good to go with the tide. And some people will say, let's make nationalistic films.
Yeah.
Because nationalism sells right now.
Yeah.
But it has to be felt. It's not because it sells. Do you feel you're catering to the audience, or are you trying to expand the audience? Why are so many films being made with the nation at the heart of it?
So I can speak about The Diplomat.
Yes.
It was a tough task to convince the studio that it's a good film, to be very honest with you. Anybody, and I guess it's business, wouldn't have faith in the film till they saw the response. Now that they're seeing the response, I think they're getting braver. So films like this that I make, I'm doing a film with one of your guests who comes into the Republic. He's called Major Samartur.
Yes,
So
great guy.
I am playing Samartur in a film called Malakkal, and it's about his story when he went to South Sudan.
Wow, we must get both of you together.
Yeah, and he would have been excited to come here, and he wanted to come here and do this section. So I am doing that. The problem I'm having, Arnab, is that I'm still having a problem selling my films.
Why?
Because my first film was Vicky Dono. No one wanted to touch it. The second film was Madras Cafe, where people said, oh, it's going to fail. The third film was Parmanu, where people said, oh,
It is a good movie.
yeah, but the point is,
Why people think it's too dry, these films?
it doesn't follow a commercial formula.
No song and dance,
no song and
item
dance.
number.
I don't have a hero in dancing.
You don't have.
Most of the times, my wife either dies at the start of the film, and I continue from there on. So maybe no one likes to see my face so much. I don't know. So I have a problem selling these films, but I hope we get braver as a community. Like the South, they're very brave. They follow their conviction and they make those films.
Yeah.
We're not really. We need to get braver. And I won The Diplomat.
I would have thought it would have been much easier now because, these films are doing so well.
No.
In fact, I think it's those films with a 500 crore budget which are not doing well.
Yeah, but
Because now it's all more focused on performance, acting, setting.
yeah,
I would have thought it
you're
would have...
absolutely correct. But still, they want to follow formula. And I'm not being.
You're not a formula actor.
I am not, and I don't want to be. My next film is called Tehran. It's again a story on the life of an attempt on an Israeli diplomat's life in 2013, when India and Iran had the gas pipeline being built,
Right.
and how I go into Tehran to figure out what's happening. And it's a beautiful story. It's not just geopolitical, but it's a beautiful human story. But that space is so exciting, and I want youngsters to really see this, to see why is India so cool? Why are we such a cool country? And I want to make it entertaining for them and get it across
Actually,
to
it's
them.
good, because I was Akshay Kumar was in the Republic Summit recently. I said, you're making these films. He made a comment which made me think. He said, I don't know the exact Hindi. He said, कुछ भी दुनिया में problem होती है तो Americans पहुंच जाते थे. There is a war, Americans land up. There's a kidnapping, Americans land up. And we now are comfortable in our own skin. We don't need an American saving the world anymore.
Correct.
So I think films that depict Indian action heroes, even if it's in a geopolitical setting, or talking about Indian diplomacy, Indian foreign policy, Indian national security, are also reflecting the changing nature of our country.
Absolutely.
We have a sense of pride right now.
Absolutely.
And we don't want to look up to the West.
Totally.
To give us their action hero.
Absolutely.
To give us their G.I. Joe.
We don't want that anymore.
We don't want that. In fact, Madras Cafe was one in that direction, wasn't it?
Correct.
So you opened the doors then.
Yeah. And
did Madras Cafe actually open up a whole genre?
Absolutely. And no one had faith in it. So when I sat in front of
What do you mean no one had faith in it? Come on, John Abraham is acting. It's a great set. There's There's a complex set of personalities and there are grays shown in the characters.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about Madras Cafe.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've shown grays in this one.
We have.
You have
We
shown grays.
Yes, and their credit to Shujit Sarkar, the hero of the film, the director. Here's Shivam Nair. He's made Special Ops. He's made Seahawks. So he's fantastic. So these directors really know how to bring out the space so beautifully. But before the film release, even Madras Cafe, even The Diplomat.
But I find hard to believe
Yeah.
is that I have John Abraham sitting in front of me who has got 2.5 decades in this industry now.
Yeah.
2.5 decades in this
Yeah.
industry. Still saying that he has to convince people.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Every day.
That's
every
terrible.
day, Every day.
What do you mean every day?
I
would have thought you would have walked into the door of any
No.
producer, told him, I want you to put in 200 crores into this film.
No, I don't get it. No.
You don't get it.
No, I don't.
You don't get it.
I don't. I have to fight for every little penny, which is fine. But
Why? Is it because you co-produce your films?
I co-produce my film. So I don't load the film at my cost, which is very important.
Okay.
And I honestly,
So you put your skin is in the game.
Yeah, and I want to tell good stories. But my good stories may not necessarily be good stories for a studio.
So what happens when the film does badly? You earn nothing.
I earn nothing. I walk away with zilch and zero, which is, again, absolutely okay.
No, but what do people tell you? I mean, people tell you that John, come and audition before us?
No,
What
they
do they
just
want?
don't have faith in films like The Diplomat. So when it starts doing well, then they say, oh, no, we told you, this is really great, this is great now. But when The Diplomat was...
And you're saying this happened with Madras Cafe also?
Yeah. Madras Cafe, before the film, I was told, now that this film is going to fail, how are we going to make up for this?
What?
Yeah. And that film goes and wins 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many national awards.
Which means you obviously still have a killer instinct in you.
Yeah.
You still have to fight for every day.
Every day.
So you're not complacent.
So
you're not in a relaxed zone.
Exactly what you do. We fight.
Yeah, we fight to survive.
We fight to survive.
Oh,
And
God.
we're survivors. And that's the
God.
way it should be.
Oh man, this is good.
Yeah.
This is quite motivating for me. But
No.
I really think that, I know Basuri Swaraj. I know Basuri.
Yeah. She saw the film.
I knew Sushma Swaraj. And she played a real role in this, right?
Yeah.
Did Basuri see this?
Yes.
Tell me about how Basuri
She saw the
reacted when
film.
she saw
She
the film.
broke down. She cried and she said, "I want to see this film again in the theaters when it releases."
Who plays Sushma?
Revati. And what a fantastic job. And when you see her in the end,
This is 2017.
2017.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Correct.
Who plays Narendra Modi?
No, we don't have the
You don't have
we
Narendra
don't have the
Modi.
Prime Minister. It's basically about Sushma ji
Oh.
and JP Singh and how they strategize not through war but through diplomacy.
You spoke to JP.
Yeah, he saw the
He
film.
gave you the whole context. He told you the
Yes,
story. He sat down with you,
He
explained.
sat
it?
with my director. They contextualized everything, wrote the script. And then JP and I had to meet because I had to understand him as a person, his body
Psychology,
language.
yeah.
So if he's looking at you, he's smiling, but he's searching you. He's searching you all the time. He's looking at you, but he's trying to understand what's in that mind right now. Very complex character, very simple on the face, but super intelligent and smart. Yeah, but
I think you are really getting interested in geopolitics and
I love it. I love the
things
space.
set. Is that for filmy reasons? Like because you want your films to have a real setting?
No, I'm just generally interested in it. I did Madras Cafe also because I said this, I woke up one morning and there was a drop of water on my face and my mom was crying when she was drawing the curtains and I asked her what happened and she said Rajiv Gandhi was killed last night. And fortunately for me, Shujit had a beautiful script and I wanted to make this film and we got together and we made what I think is probably one of the best films of my career.
I think it's one of the best films in recent times.
Yeah, and I just love geopolitics. I'm following what's happening with Mr. Trump and Zelenskyy.
You take sides on it or just follow it?
Honestly,
Everything's honest. Come on. John.
Yeah, I
take sides.
I feel India. I mean, if I was,
Yeah.
I feel we're doing the right thing. We should hold Russia's hand, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Russia's helped us through thick and thin.
Thick and thin. Yeah.
Putin's been there with us,
Yeah.
and I would love to meet him one day.
Yeah.
He's,
Is he top of the list for people you want to meet?
yeah. I mean, he's
Okay,
been
who are the
screaming for
top
30
three
years.
global personalities you'd like to meet?
I think Putin for one, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So would I actually.
Yeah. I really want to meet
Incredible
the man and
person.
understand what he's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been following what's happening with the Hamas, with Israel.
Which side are you on that?
So this is very interesting. I condemn what happened on October 7th. So, where the question mark is, I condemn the act. You condemn the sin? Do you condemn the sinner? You know. So there is a lot of backstory that goes into it, and I'm not going to, throw my philosophy around here. But I think what happened on October 7th was horrific, and I just feel that we need to find resolution to that fast.
Yeah. And you don't think Trump's Gaza hotel is going to solve it?
Not at all. I'm amazed by Trump's statements.
We all are.
But I think he's in a way he's result oriented. Some things he says sound really obnoxious, crazy. But I mean, he's got Ukraine on the table right now, and it's a 30-day peace deal, and the ball's in Putin's court now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So for me, if you ask me what's the best film I've watched recently, and I don't mean in a dark way, but it's the hostage swaps and what's happening with
What are you going
Russia
to tell
and Ukraine.
Jaishankar when you meet him today?
Oh, I just
Are
want
you going to rehearse your lines? Or?
Not at all, not at all.
You're looking forward to first time you're meeting him?
It's like a fanboy moment. I'm just dying to see him.
Yeah.
And I spoke with him.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
When was this? Before you
Just
set this
a
up?
week ago, and he said, I was involved in that. He's saying when shit hit the roof, I was there. He's saying, I know about this. This is fantastic. So he's seen the trailer.
Yeah.
He's loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about seeing him because I genuinely have respect for him.
Yeah.
I think he's a fantastic person, and he's changed the face of Indian
yes,
diplomacy in
yes,
this country.
yes. Another person you should meet if you're interested in geopolitics, and who we also greatly respect, of course, is Ajit Doval.
Oh.
I think he is the man, and I think one day a great movie should be made on him.
Yeah.
Because what he's done for the country, the risks he's taken, not just in the
Yeah.
field of intelligence or counterintelligence, just in terms of his personal
Yeah,
sacrifice.
I'd nearly got an audience with him recently
Yeah.
because I wanted to study a little more on this
That's a man with
life.
many stories, I can tell
Yeah,
you, John.
yeah.
And a great person. I hope
Yeah.
you get to meet him.
I would
one day.
love to.
Okay,
Would love
John, so we all been through ups and downs. I give you a choice at the end. What has been the happiest moment for you or the toughest moment for you in terms of it being either emotionally wrenching or difficult? The reason I ask you this question is because I want our viewers to understand that this picture of John Abraham they see is not just a picture.
Yeah.
There's a human being behind it. So
Yeah.
I'd like you to just share a little bit about any great high, say last 10, 20 years, or great low you had in your career.
I think,
So they relate to you differently.
the lows are when people doubt your craft because I work so hard at it.
They doubted it.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking model can't act for nuts.
Yeah, it's about the body, and I love that. I love the fact that you really need to kind of, sometimes your roles have to be physical. It's great,
Yeah.
and I want to do those commercial films like Pathaan, like Force. It's great, but when I say doubt your craft, I mean, you want to make films like The Diplomat. You want to make films like.
Tell me a moment when you felt
Yeah.
low about that.
They just, a producer could indirectly tell you that, they don't want to see you in films like this. And I'm like, but how are you to judge? Let this film happen and maybe it'll work. Madras Cafe.
Yeah.
Saying, no, John, you need to do the films where you fight. I'm like, no, you need to do the films where you think.
Yeah.
That's very important, and that's what makes you attractive, And I'm not a campaigner for the six-pack and, yes, you do it in films, but you do it for yourself. You don't really need to go and talk about it everywhere. I want to do films that actually provoke you. And for me, the reason why I came into films was Schindler's List.
Oh my God.
I saw Schindler's
tell you
List
this
and I
one.
was disturbed.
I was a student at Oxford when I saw that.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to see Schindler's List with a group, and among the group in the UK as a student was a German. And I remember he came back quiet. We lived in the same house.
Yeah.
He was a fellow student, and we came back just quiet.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what to say to him, and he didn't know what to say to us.
Correct.
But it opened it up.
Totally. Yeah. What a beautiful film.
And raw.
And I learned German after that.
You did.
Yeah. I actually went and learned
Why?
German.
Why is that?
I was just enamored by that space when I saw that film, and I speak fluent, pretty
German.
decent German.
Wow.
And it just moved me. And I said, listen, if I get into films, this is the kind of stuff that I'm supposed to be
And you're doing it now.
And I'm doing it now.
You're doing it now.
I'm doing it
You're
now.
very lucky.
Yeah.
What's your end game?
Uh,
It's still too early to talk about end game, but you must have a goal. Like when I'm asked, what's your end game? I say, see, whatever God has given me, whatever opportunity I got, I want to launch a global news brand in my lifetime. So there must be something beyond.
I think to take over from S. Jaishankar. That's
You tell him that
Yeah,
today.
I tell him
You
that.
tell him that today. Listen, John, audiences love you. I was very happy to see you.
Yeah.
I think you're going very strong.
Thank you.
And I wish you luck.
Yeah, and also Arnab, audiences should know that the relationship that I have with you is very, very special. And
It's
one of my low moments, Arnab, in the past, you're the only person who stood by me, and this was years ago,
I know.
before you
I know that.
became
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I remember that. Way back.
the
2008.
Arnab Goswami that you are now.
Yeah.
And for me, I hold those moments very close to my heart.
Thank you.
And I'm
It's
just very
mutual.
happy to see
It's
you.
very mutual, John.
Yeah.
I wish you luck. I think you're going to do great films. I think you should do films that have an international audience.
Yep.
I think you should go beyond languages.
I must tell you this.
know, and that's what you should
Yeah,
aim
my
to.
next film, Tehran,
Yeah.
I learned Farsi
Yeah.
and Hebrew.
Yeah. And it should be ubiquitous. It should be such that an audience in Tel Aviv and an audience in San
Correct.
Francisco can relate with it.
Correct.
And you can be the guy who does that.
Correct. And I
So-
hope Tehran does that. And that's
And
my
I hope
next.
people who are putting money into films put money into films like this.
I hope so too.
I'm
so,
sure they will.
so we've got a platform here and I hope they do that.
No,
I
no,
hope
I'm
they
sure
become
they will.
braver.
No, we put this message out stronger with you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, John.
Thanks, Arnab. So happy
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.